All right, here's MVP with some great multitasking drops in that last game. I promise I won't say his name if there's a third. He is, again, the one, the only.
I am MVP.
MVP.
Man, that Street Fighter guy, Street Fighter voice guy, he thinks he's a lot of different people. I think he has multiple personality disorder. He thinks he's nuts.
Thinks he's nuts.
He thinks he's MVP.
Oh, there's our Blue Protoss player. Kind of a shaky start, but he is.
MVP duo.
So maybe he can lure MVP into making a mistake and letting him win game 2.
Maybe.
Here we go. Lure.
And maybe he'll spell mistake wrong at the same time.
Maybe. Maybe. Thanks. Huge thank you to LG, Intel, and G-Skill for sponsoring our wonderful tournament here, for promoting esports. Huge thank you. Can't say enough thank yous. I could be here all day saying thank you. But maybe I'll just like say it once and then create a loop to just play.
Yeah, that would be
a lot easier.
That'd be a little bit better way of doing it. Yeah.
Not because I'm lazy, but just because I want to be able to cast StarCraft 2 as well as say thank you.
Now I like how MVP. He's actually he's playing it safe. He doesn't want to lose to something crazy. He knows he's a better player. He's in the lead. Just wants to play it safe. Sometimes players will try and wall off that big expansion that Probe's running through right now. But instead, MVP walling off the smaller choke point. Just playing it safe, and he might expand after this, but at the very least, he's not going to lose to anything early, any early cheese rushes or anything like that.
Right. The drone zapping a little bit there. Going to try to take some points out of this SCV, but right now it's nestled comfortably between the barracks and the supply depot. And nothing out of the ordinary really for Lure. He's got his gas and gateway at the normal time. Cybercore coming up at 17, like most Protoss players would do. And right now, these positions on Teldrim alter a little bit closer. I mean, it is a rotationally symmetrical map, but I don't know. It's always seemed to me like these positions are a little bit closer just because the right base can get into the left base via drops a little bit faster. So
yeah, Marines run around. Might be thinking about going for that probe. Might be trying to find the probe. He's going to check the
that's good.
Little Naga Tower. He's actually okay. He's scouting with the SCV bottom right. He's scouting with the Marine top left. Yeah. So he can narrow down where Lure is a little bit quicker.
A lot of
and you know, if there's a Zealot, it doesn't matter that much. He can deal with that. Although there's going to be a Stalker. He might lose this Marine to a Stalker popping out at the right moment.
Yeah. Double scouting, though, is a good idea on this map. I always do it. Oh, Stalker just kept trying to headbutt him there. That didn't work, so he'll just use lasers instead. There we go. That worked much better.
Headbutt, lasers, same thing.
Well, you know, the Stalkers do have like a little Zealot head, and it's like, I'm going to attack you with the only part of my body that's left.
Do they have a Zealot head?
Yeah, they do. They have, look on the portrait. It's like a little DT head.
Yeah, kind of.
Because Stalkers are actually Dark Templars brought back. Looks
really?
Like 4, yeah, they are.
I didn't know
Looks
that.
like 4 barracks going up for MVP. Very typical opening for MVP. Does like to open with a lot of barracks.
Yep. And he's got that second command center as well, so he's going to be able to do okay. I like this Stalker poking in, doing what damage he can.
Yep.
He can actually use MVP's wall against him a little bit. Obviously, he can lower the depot and kind of come out there, but microing against those Marines.
That's the danger of doing the wall on against Protoss, is because Stalkers can outrange Marines. If you don't have a bunker, it's a little bit tough. Bunker going up, but I wonder if he's going to focus at SCV, although we did see another scout dying there. So Bunker going up for MVP, trying to push back those Stalkers. It's going to be a little bit tough, though.
Wow.
With some good micro, MVP might be in a little bit of trouble here.
He's going to have to pull some SCVs off. He has all 4 barracks now, though, so his production is going to quadruple at this moment. In fact, more Marines about to pop out.
Oh, losing a couple SCVs. And more Marines coming out. MVP should be pretty safe at this point.
Very nice. And look at this. He's doing this all with 2 Stalkers.
Yeah. Lure is relentless, man.
He's killing lots of Marines, lots of SCVs, forcing a bunker with just 2 Stalkers and expanding at the same time.
All right, so 3-gate Robo going down for Lure. He did expand and then add on that Robo and the second and third gateways. So both players still playing pretty standard, although MVP really has kind of his own style of pretty much everything. You don't see a whole lot of Terror players going for that many barracks right away. Usually, you usually see them getting the factory, getting the medevacs pumping out, getting the engineering bay for upgrades, but almost every game, MVP gets those 4 barracks up.
That's really interesting because he actually hasn't gotten any add-ons yet.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, he likes to just rely on Marine Squad.
He's not going to have stim or anything like that. And actually, who was it? Someone recently we saw lose a game because they were really passive like this, and the Protoss, I don't remember what game it was. Anyway, he is finally moving out here, but without any upgrades, there's no way he's actually going to be able to catch up to those Stalkers, and they don't want to be caught. They are trying to do some damage.
Yeah, but those Stalkers turn around to engage, so they'll just get killed by the Marines. Oh, one Stalker getting taken out.
Yeah, on second thought, though, he just has so many Marines that he can just chase him all the way back to his base.
That's the strength of Mass Marines against Protoss right now, is that there's not a lot that Protoss has early in the game other than sentries and force fields that can deal with this. Marines do a lot of DPS even without Stim. Stalker's taking the high ground there. That's going to send MVP back a little bit, but this ramp is pretty wide. MVP is going to go up there. Is he going to be able to cause any damage at all? Guardian's going down. That's going to help against the Marines, but focusing down the sentries, and now the Marines are going to go after with the Stalkers. I think that Lure's going to have enough, though. If he micros well, it's going to be close. Zealot coming out right now, and Lure's going to be able to clean it up.
Yeah, Marines finally being whittled down, but that does leave the army count in Lure's favor, actually, because he did kill a lot of Marines there, just about 10 ahead, but critically, he did have that Nexus up very quick, so he's actually at 45 Harvesters to 32 of MVP, so even when he transfers over SCVs to this new base, he's actually going to have maybe, well, actually with Mules, he's probably going to have similar income.
Yeah, and Lure actually losing a lot of units early on. Making Marines obviously was a lot more efficient than making a bunch of Stalkers, a bunch of Sentries. So if MKP, or no, that's Marine King, if MVP can keep that up, they play against each other so much.
MVP's playing a little bit like Marine King this game, to be honest.
He is a little bit, but we're seeing more Terrans do this. And actually, the French player, Karn, has just been kind of messing around with Mass Marine against Protoss just for fun lately. He hasn't been doing it seriously, but it's actually been working pretty well.
He did it as a joke, and he's actually beating high-level Masters players in Korea with it.
Yep. So that's a little bit of a surprise there. It's always fun when you do something kind of as a joke, and then it ends up actually really working, and you're like, oh, huh, well, that's interesting. MVP, though, doing the smart thing, though, not relying totally on Mass Marines, getting his upgrades. Stim is on the way. Starport, Engineering Bay, finally starting to get some add-ons. He knows the exact timings where he's safe to take the time to put those reactors up on the barracks.
This is a little bit risky by MVP. He's going for the reactor to Starport, and you want the medevacs anyway, but I have a feeling he's going to get some Vikings kind of blind. He doesn't actually know that there are Colossi coming. There are Colossi coming, but he doesn't actually know that right now, so I'm curious to see if he does, in fact, get Vikings or not blind. It would be a good thing to do in this situation, but he hasn't been scouting at all, is my point, so he's pretty in the dark. He doesn't actually know what's coming at him.
Another thing that MVP does a lot in his games too is he uses his sort of internal timings. He's saying to himself right now, okay, if Lure was going Mass Gateway, it probably would have hit my base by now. So, by process of elimination, I haven't seen a Void Ray around. Most likely, he's going to be going Robo. And he may have even kind of spotted that Observer too. So, MVP is just one of those players that's played enough to have that internal timing down. Really, really cool to see.
Yep. Lure is, of course, a human being. Has opposable thumbs, unlike penguins.
Penguin? Oh, they don't have thumbs, do they? They're birds.
Penguins don't have opposable thumbs, no. They can't play StarCraft.
The way I said that made me really surprised when I thought that penguins were birds.
What?
It's like, what? I thought they were insects.
Penguins don't play StarCraft?
They don't?
No.
Blowing my mind, man. All right, so Lure moving out, and because of losing those early units, does not have a lot to support those Colossi. This attack could go very well for MVP.
He does have a few force fields, so if he puts them on the right place on that ramp, he'll still be able to. He might have to use those force fields to. Well, no, he's got the.
Colossi from the high ground, though, pushing MVP back a little bit. He almost did get that.
Okay, he's got the thermal lance, so actually using that ledge as force fields, and Marines have to fall back from it.
Yeah, more or less. And the Marine's gonna look for the third. Get a shot of that Marine running into the third base at the middle left, and he sees it.
Yep.
Only one Zealot coming in. Good response there. Oh, but the Zealot runs the other way. Oh. He's like, I gotta get back to the base.
Oh no! Lure sends his whole army to take care of that one Marine, and MVP has a huge drop. Oh,
Lure does have some Stalkers
in place.
I thought it was the whole army too. So.
Oh my goodness. A little bit excessive, setting his whole army to that one Marine, but it could have been really bad for him. being that out of
MVP
position.
could be showing his multitasking here, attacking from different fronts at once. That's what he's known for. That's what he's great at. Taking out the probe there, and this army's not going to be able to handle the... great trap there. A lot of zealots.
Because of shells, keeping those zealots from getting close and actually hiding away from the Colossi as well, making sure that they do not get any hits in.
I'm a little bit surprised that Lure hasn't gone for Zelkbeat yet, but here's a drop at the main of Lure, or at the expansion anyway. He's going to take out some pylons, take out units warping in. These Stalkers are not going to do too well against the bio with those medevacs healing them. Probes do have to come in to help. The army is out of position for Lure. This is actually pretty bad for Lure.
Wow, and he's just going to pick up and get out.
Yep.
Did a ton of damage.
Nice job there
just
by
get out of there. Very smart move.
So now MVP is a little bit behind, actually.
I'm really worried about Lure. He keeps putting his whole army out of position. He just sent his whole army down to the bottom left base for no reason. Maybe checking for an expansion, but he really needs to be careful because MVP, if MVP knew that he was that out of position, he could have gone in for a full attack, and it's a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, it's certainly possible.
At least he is keeping like half of his army back to deal with these drops.
Now Lure's getting Blink, that we can see from the production queue as MVP takes the third base. Yeah, getting Blink. I'm actually a little bit surprised about that because against Terran Bio, a lot of Protoss players have actually been going Zelts with leg speed. Very, very good against anything that Terran has, really, other than like Banshees, of course. But a lot of Vikings out already for MVP.
A lot of Vikings and no stalkers with that army. He can easily pick off a couple Colossi.
And the drop going down at the main. MVP looks intense. And is he going to be able to do any damage?
Oh my
Stalkers
goodness.
join the army now. Bio getting cleaned up by the Vikings there, or by the Stalkers.
MVP just got 2 Colossi for free, and he's actually going to try and reinforce that drop in the main. He's like, all right, it's doing a lot of damage. It's about to get cleaned up. I'll drop the natural as well. Doing tons of damage there.
Lewis got
main
the bigger army.
Main army running for the hills from this one Colossus that is left.
MVP doing a ton of damage at the main base of Lure, taking out some units at the natural before the Colossi go back to attack. And Lure, I thought he was going to go after the natural expansion of MVP. It looks like he may be thinking about it now, but he did pull a lot of units back. Right now, though, Lure has the better army. Has enough Stalkers, I think, to deal with a lot of those Vikings once the army gets together. Oh boy, but Viking being taken out.
Yeah, and Blink is done. He could blink in and get those Vikings. He gets a couple, but not before. Oh, is he going to get the last hit on that Colossus? He decides not to go in there.
Yeah, never mind. I guess there were enough Vikings for Lure.
There is that Colossus is the only one left, and it's going to get taken out.
Oh, getting caught out of position.
It doesn't actually matter though. He's got no more Colossus, but I don't know if he has enough bio actually for that.
He's got a lot of Zealots. I'm curious to see if he's researching Charge right now.
No, not. Well, no,
yes,
he just started it.
He just started it.
Sorry.
Getting armor as well. Armor, of course, very, very good against Terran. Lure trying to find a workaway in. He's going in. Oh, catching the Stalkers again, but getting the Zealots in front of the bio.
Whoa, has to force field to protect his army, and he is now down to about 6 force fields left on his army because he doesn't have a lot of sentries, rather.
Yeah, Ghost Academy going up. Looks like the Mobius reactor is being researched.
Yeah, it's a reactor with only one side.
Not to be confused with the character from the Matrix. I've heard people call it the Morpheus reactor sometimes. That's wrong. It's a Mobius reactor.
That's right.
That's right. If it was really a Mobius reactor, you'd think it would give you infinite energy, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Keep going and going and going.
Yeah. Now, right now, MVP ahead in the supply. Lure's trying to take another base. But is he going to get it fast enough? MVP on 4 bases right now. And he does have that planetary that we can see at the 4th.
Yeah, MVP's doing pretty well here. He's maxed out, almost maxed. Lure is almost maxed as well and taking that 4th, as you mentioned. But I just feel like the army of MVP is better. He's got just enough Vikings for the 2 Colossi on the field, although a 3rd one is producing. And he's got a lot of really strong bio to deal with the gateway units, which he's got a lot of Zealots, but not enough to really force field and make use of those Zealots for more than one battle.
Probe almost found that bottom right base for MVP. Looks like MVP moving in again. There's a lot of Stalkers, though. Where's the rest of the army for Lure? There it is. He's trying to protect it. Oh, the Vikings getting a little bit close. Here comes the bio again. So Zealot's not in front right now. Zealot charge has finished. But the Zealot's a little bit in the back right now.
Having to run away. He's actually dropping the fourth base of Lure at this time. So if he holds out right now, he's going to be in an economic lead, but he actually might not have enough to deal with this. Running SCVs into the Zealots and Colossi. Vikings coming from the side. Are they going to be able? They are going to be able to pick off the Colossi, but he may not have enough bio to deal with this.
And Lure looking pretty good right now. He needs to pull the Zealots back until the force field's end. And a drop going down the main and the fourth base. Lure needs to make this attack work.
Lure's going in for the kill. He does need to make this work. Zealot's charging in. MVP trapped in his own choke. Force field going up is actually going to stop those Zealots from getting through. And he might just want to back up and take that expansion out and just force field off. He does get some. Mule's coming down for MVP. And he may be GGing here momentarily as his base is in tatters. But it also actually might have just been to put more stuff in the way of his bio to stop the Zealots.
Oh, that's very true too. Force field trapping some of the bio. Things looking very, very even right now. The Colossi may turn the tide. Is Lure going to have enough? Remember, there's still units attacking the base of Lure.
Blinking forward to try and take out those last few units. He's falling back. He is in the production facilities right now, so MVP can't really reinforce, but he's dropped the main at the same time. So it is basically a base trade situation. Lure is trying to desperately defend his main and to desperately take out all of MVP's buildings at the same time. Is he going to manage to do it? The Colossus is doing tons of damage, 13 kills on it, and MVP may lose all of his army. He's lost his entire army. It is a complete base trade situation.
MVP is a little bit ahead of supply, quite a bit ahead actually with those drops, and the Colossus does go down.
And that, I think what we're looking at right now is the reason why MVP is still in the game. He still has a planetary there.
Yeah.
Lure has nothing to fall back on though.
I think MVP has this game despite the Stalkers in his base. Ignore that right now because MVP is tearing apart Lure. Eventually MVP is going to be able to clear out those units, I feel. You're going to have to wait and see though.
Yeah, the Stalkers are
ahead on supply.
Yeah, because he has the income and he hasn't really killed off those barracks, they're still able to slowly and steadily produce. And it's just those 6 Stalkers and a couple other units left.
Now, does Lure know about that third base?
He does.
Okay.
He does. He doesn't know about the 4th yet in the bottom right, but he knows about the 3rd. And there's GG coming from Lure. MVP, the best terror in the world, is going to stay in the tournament and continue on what a lot of people think is going to be a run to the finals.
Yeah, I would say definitely a favorite for winning Code A now that he's made it out of the round of 32. Then again, there's a lot of powerful players out there. MVP's going to need to watch his back. There's Lure. That's the last we're going to see of him this time.
Yeah.
But MVP is still with a lot of players in Code A. A little bit disappointing for them today, though.
I believe he's going up
Violet
against,
did move on.
I believe he's going up against Min next. Possible danger there, and there's a couple other really solid players in the tournament.
That's going to be a really great match.
That is going to be, and that, the round of 16 is to get into the up and down matches. So
that's right.
That's going to be pretty important for both those players. But yeah, I gotta say I feel a little bit bad for Lure. You fight your way through the Code B tournament. You're like, all right, I got into Code A. Yes, I've been trying for years, and I'm going up against the best player in the world.
Yeah.
In the first match.
Well, luck is a cruel mistress, Moletrap.
Indeed.
And Lure has a cool mistress today. A cruel mistress.
Yeah.
How'd that work? Hey,
Luck left with all his money, and
that's right.
Still trying to force him to pay child support.
So how about that? 4 great matches today at GSL Code A. It's going to heat up even more next week.
Yeah.
Because now we're going to go to the round of 16, and we're going to see some of the best players.
Yeah, we still have one more day of the round of 32, but that is next week, and then the round of 16.
Yeah.
No, the round of 16 is next week still. So you're right.
It is.
Yeah.
I know. Thank you. You're so nice. Such a nice person to cast with Moletrap.
Thank you. You as well. But definitely some good matches today. A little bit surprising. I expected Ace to go on.
Yeah, I did.
And he actually got taken out by
Violet.
Violet, the War 3 Pro. So we're going to actually have another War 3 Pro. In fact, we're going to have the results pulled up on the screen here. I'm pointing to the screen even though.
There they are. You guys can't see it, but we can. Yeah. Oh, now you can see it. So Violet 0-2ing or 2-0ing Ace. And we had Slayers Yu-Gi-Oh! 2-0ing August. August, again, not a lot of luck in GSL. Now we had Slayer's Min taking down the best for you. And Min, that's definitely one to watch out for, but he's going to need to play against MVP next. Easily 2-0ing MVP Lure.
Next season might be Min's season.
And tomorrow, don't miss Code S. San Zenith versus Liquid Jinro. That's going to be a great match. Jinro in a little bit of a slump, so we're going to have to see if he can come back. Nest T versus Clyde. That is a crazy group. Clyde, of course, a very good Terran, but has not yet been able to make it past a round of 8, I believe. Maybe he got to the semis once. And Nest T, man, what more can you say about him? Second group, Group F, will be Fox Lin versus Fruit Dealer. And Check Prime versus TSL Killer. It's going to be at 2 p.m. Don't forget.
Yeah, it's earlier than it normally is. 4 hours earlier than the normal one.
And again, Moltrap and I will be back on Monday. It's going to be Von Bon Zenith versus Slayers Brown, a player who I've never seen before unless he changes his name.
Pretty new on the scene, just coming up through the qualifiers.
Then we've got Choya Foyu, a longtime Code S player, not really that bad either, going up against MVP Keen. Next Coca going up, or Zenex Coca, I should say, going up against ST Squirtle.
Squirtle's back.
Looking forward to seeing him.
Got eliminated last season, has fought his way back in.
Yeah, and then our last match today is going to be MVP Noble S going up against Tassadar. That's right, Hozo Tassadar.
Yeah.
So a couple of Hozo
very,
players
very
there
good
as
games.
well.
It's going to be pretty
Hozo,
cool.
of course, is San's team, but that is going to be up bad. That's going to be it for us today. What do you got to say to end the cast today, Moltrap?
Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed it a lot. This has been so much fun. A lot of good matches again. Next week's going to be even better. Make sure you tune into Code S tomorrow and tune back into Code A starting on Monday, which will be early Tuesday morning for those of you in the States or what have you.
Yep.
Hope to see you then.
Get some sleep.